Hey.
With another episode of It's the End of the World. Unless it's your girl T and my nigga Skinny. Hey. We back with another one to talk about drugs.
Drugs.
The
Everybody
good
loves
kind.
drugs.
Yeah, right? The good kind, the bad kind. Well, there's really
There's no bad
Hold
drugs.
up. Yeah, let's start with that. Hold up. Is there okay. Go ahead.
Okay, wait. No, actually, I take that back. Okay, so in my opinion, I feel like anything that is made like synthetically is bad. I guess, and it's not. Well, it's bad just for your body.
Interesting.
Because I feel like the things that come in out of nature came out of nature naturally. So it's like even if you use a substance, let's say marijuana for example, that's a
my
plant.
Girl.
You know what I'm saying? The homie, the big homie.
Hello.
That's natural. Like that comes from the earth. Like, now when you say like we if you're smoking it, it's like obviously that's not good for your lungs and yada yada yada. Cool. But I feel like it's not, I guess, as harmful as something that is made in a lab where there are a lot of ingredients that just aren't from natural sources. And I just feel like that's not,
Okay, so let me ask you about LSD. Have you ever tried LSD?
I haven't.
Okay. Oh wait, hold on. Before we get into it, can we just you cool with just being open like that?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, bet. Okay. So you haven't tried LSD? Okay.
No, I want to. I want to try that and acid.
That's the same thing.
Oh, then I want to try it.
I was definitely okay. So okay. Since your answer was no, I'm gonna just say my take then. I think I used to kind of think the same thing, but I feel like there really is no way to properly classify them because even drugs that might be considered bad, like heroin or I feel like I've seen. I probably should look this up, but I think there's definitely at this point there's clinical trials testing pretty much all of these things except for crack. I have not seen something talking about clinical trials including crack, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a clinical trial for heroin. Just to hold on, let me look this up real quick. Because I know like ketamine is used to treat depression and like LSD.
I will say everything in moderation is good because I don't know, good and bad are so like subjective to me. But I would say like anything can be used in a good way, as long as you're not like abusing it, I guess.
I totally understand that and I agree with that. Okay, so yeah, that pretty much sums up
except crack. And the reason why I say except crack is because like crack is literally like baking soda or like some other wild
crack
ass
was
shit.
literally cooked up in motherfuckers' homes. Like I don't think they made crack in a lab. Wait, well, you know what?
You can't make crack in a lab. See, it's different. It's different types. But I just feel like with crack, it's a little different because it's like, I don't know. It's just like stuff where it's like you mixing stuff that you're not supposed to put in your body, like rat poison, shit like that, like PCP, shit like that. Like that's when I'm like,
fucking computer duster.
Yeah, like computer spray and like Lysol and shit. Like that's when I'm like, okay, we need to dial it back. Like calm down.
Yeah. Okay,
but I think drugs have their purposes though, because like if I get my teeth removed, I'm gonna want that oxy, like you know what I'm saying. Let me get that, because I'm not about to deal with that pain, and we just not gonna do it, especially if I can't smoke. So it's like, yeah, let me get. I'm not going OC on it, but like I can understand why you would, because it's like you take one like a Roxy or some shit, you be feeling like you floating. So I get it.
Oh Lord. I mean, yeah, I mean it's just another form of escape, right?
Yeah.
We all are seeking what that is for us. Social media is it for a lot of people, just one of the several things. People use all types of shit. Alcohol, which
Mm-hmm.
is a drug, by the way.
Yes.
People use all types of shit to escape, but I think I can't find like a specific clinical trial that includes heroin, so let me retract that statement. But I do think that no matter what the drug is, like you said, it can be used for the benefit of people if people were just careful with it and not so reckless. But the problem
Mm-hmm.
is people are reckless, and like I said,
Mm-hmm.
people are looking for escape. So I mean, they just be going balls to the fucking wall off
Mm-hmm.
jump. Like people aren't considering kind of like with weed. I think weed is a really good example because a lot of people can relate to it, you know.
Yeah.
But weed is just now being recognized on such a grand scale medically for its medical uses
Mm-hmm.
because people um take advantage of it so much to like such an extent, and it's not looked at as a problem because I mean if you smoking a fuck ton of weed, it's not like you going out here and like drunk driving like
Yeah.
alcoholic or you know or like getting into fights with you know so it
But
doesn't have that bad
but
stigma attached to it, but it can definitely alter like how you're moving in this
oh
world,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like your like intention or lack of intention, lack of motivation, like that's an actual thing for people, especially when you include weed. So like
Yeah.
I understand it because shit, I abuse it, but I also have figured out like how to I'm a functioning weed head, okay? I figured out
Exactly.
how to move through my day to day and still get shit done while also getting high. But I'm kind of ranting now, but I also figured out like, because I went through a period because I had so much access to it being in the industry. I went through a period where I was literally smoking so fucking much because I pretty much never had to buy it or really had to pay that much money for it. So
Mm-hmm.
I was smoking like an insane amount. Like if I was going to get some food, my nigga, I'd have a J for right before I leave, a J for the ride there, and then a J for the ride back. No bullshit, no exaggeration. And like that shit is wild, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't until that access kind of depleted for me, like I didn't have as much access to it. And then I started like I had to minimize how much I was smoking, and then I ended up smoking just like kind of once a day, and it was towards the end of my day, and that felt so much more fulfilling, so
Mm-hmm.
much more fulfilling. But like that's not saying that's the case for everybody, but I'm saying that's how like when you're abusing it, when you're taking advantage of it, of its benefits, it can kind of cloud how you're seeing things, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like I agree with what you said. Like when you it clouds your judgment a lot. That's
Yeah.
why when you was like um people that smoke a lot of weed and just because I feel like it's kind of become like a I don't know like a kind of like the popular thing to do,
Yeah,
like
that's
to
how
be
cigarettes were when we were super young, you know, before
yeah.
you actually turned 18 and were able to buy cigarettes and you're like, bitch, what?
But even with that, like I don't feel like Jax was never like that for me. Like at least
Me
around
neither. No,
like
me
my
neither.
yeah
But there was
yeah
definitely, it's kind of like, it's just how it was depicted in the media. You know, the cool kid always smoking a cigarette. And it's like,
yeah.
nigga, you know, you're not old enough to be smoking that, but you look cool. Or like the photo shoots and stuff, cigarettes as props and shit, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just like, that was kind of how it was portrayed back when we was young and a lot more impressionable. But I never got onto that shit. I mean, I tried it, but that shit just wasn't for me. I'm like, bro, what? No.
Yeah,
No, I'm tasting this nasty ass shit to feel nothing. No,
right.
I'm good.
No, no bullshit.
Yeah, but that nicotine shit, that nicotine craze with these vape pens, that shit is crazy to see that shit happening in real time.
I mean, it's not really like to me. It's not really crazy. It's like it's just a natural transition for real. It's like cigarettes kind of fell off because the price and just like the smell and all that other shit. So they had to figure out a new way to market it. So it's
It's
like
just
you know,
it amazes me every time I see um like when it's that obvious, you know, how the
mm,
masses are being taken advantage of and how easily people just go with that flow, you know, and
yeah,
they're like, oh, well, now I have a nicotine addiction.
yeah. It's. I mean, it's really just psychology for real. It's just
I
like
know, yeah.
yeah, Just psychology, just knowing what people like.
That shit is wild though. I mean, they like fruity tasting shit. I mean, that's literally all they had to do. Add the fucking and make
And
it 10 times more addictive. And yeah.
yeah, I was just talking to my man at the dispensary shit. One of the patients and shit, and we was talking about how like maybe like 10 years ago, maybe it used to be about like gas weed, like everybody wanted gas, like everybody wanted some shit that was like actual like skunky, like you wanted your shit to booth type shit.
Yeah.
But now like recently everybody is on like the fruity, like everybody want to taste good, like everybody want to smoke something that tastes good, everybody want flavor, everybody niggas wasn't like that like 10 years ago. It was just about how like that shit moving or not, like that's all it was. But now recently I feel like a lot of people is more into like, oh, you know, what it tastes like, what what's the like niggas don't know what terpenes are, but niggas are starting to figure out like, okay, weed tastes a little different, or like you can get some flavor like that. That flavor shit getting into everything. It's just I don't know. It's just weird.
There's like a very miseducation is a huge problem, specifically when it comes to cannabis, or not even. I don't know if it's miseducate people, just the lack of knowledge. Like people don't know about the shit that they're smoking, and like you said, they literally just have like these street things to go off of, like looking for the gas or that now it's czar, like that exotic, and willing to pay these insane ass prices for shit that somebody else who really doesn't have much credibility,
thinking,
you know.
And PSA, just because it got purple in it does not mean it's czar. Please stop buying weed just because it got purple in it.
What is czar?
Huh?
What is czar? What is that?
Exotic.
I know, but what is that? What the fuck is that?
Niggas don't even know. It's just they think it's weed from like other places or some
like,
shit.
Bro,
like distant lands or some shit. Like nigga knows, and that shit was grown in Maryland, nigga. Fuck out of here.
And a
nigga's backyard, son.
And a nigga's closet.
Purple don't got nothing to do with that shit, bro. Like, please stop buying purple off of these niggas just because they calling it Zai and putting it in a cookies bag that they bought from the gas station. Like, fuck out of here.
Literally. Yeah, because you could just buy those bags on like Amazon.
You can definitely, you can buy them at that gas station. I've literally seen them at the tobacco shop. They sell them. The Akis be selling them things at the gas station, bro. Like at the tobacco shops, like cookies bags.
That's funny as fuck. That's funny. Oh, and then that's another thing with these big like name brands within the actual industry where there's supposed to be education, and people are still kind of falling for that same marketing shit, just going based off of like what is being talked about, what's the hype, who's got whose name on it. Oh, this Snoop Dogg shit. Oh, this Mike Tyson weed bet. Let me
get niggas love buying that Snoop Dogg. We sell Snoop Dogg OG. Everybody buying that shit.
Like, can y'all relax, bro? Can y'all relax?
Everybody just followers, just following names, following trends.
But when people don't know the shit about what they're doing, what else are they supposed to follow besides somebody else's work? I mean, go out and learn that shit. Like, first off, but it's just, I don't know, it's really shitty to see that shit. And when I was working at the dispensary, like, I would correct them every time, because stop going around talking like that. Like, nigga, you are in a dispensary. Ain't no reason you should be coming in here asking for what got the highest THC. That's what I want. I just want the highest THC, nigga. Why?
But then it's also like, because I used to be real big on like, I try to tell them about terps and all that shit. And then it's just like, well, I've been smoking for 25, 30 years.
You can't tell them nothing.
It's like, all right, well, smoke your suck. And then they gonna come back to you and be like, yeah, ain't do nothing for me. It's like, I bet it did. It's like, I don't know. People just think they know everything, but don't know nothing.
Yeah. I'm still gonna tell your ass though. If you coming in asking me what's got the highest THC, nigga, that's exactly how they taxing your ass. Like, you're literally asking what's the most expensive thing in this fucking store.
Basically.
I mean, go ahead. That's how you want to spend your money. Go ahead, but like, don't say I didn't tell you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I be mixed about that, because it's like you be wanting to tell people better, but then at the same time, it's like, one, well, how do I know what's better for them? Two, it's like, I don't know. I feel like everybody just do what they want at the end of the day. Like, you can give people advice, but at the end of the day, everybody gonna do what they want.
But at least it's clear on my conscience, you know. Like, I know, especially
my conscience gonna be good regardless, because I know I'm taking care of me. Like,
I mean, yeah, but my nigga, you work at a dispensary, these people coming in and you like that's like your thing to help them. That's what you're there for.
Yeah, I help the people that request my help. Like if you
I
come in
love
there and say,
yeah.
"Hey, can
I
you
feel
help me?"
you.
Da, 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 da. Like it's a nigga that came in there the other day with Parkinson's, and he asked me what I could give him. Gave him some CBD, some other shit. And
Bro,
he
those are
came back
my
and was like,
favorite
"Those
customers.
those be the ones that I love the most, because
Those
it's
are
like
my
those are people
favorite.
that I really want to help. Because it's like I
Yeah,
ain't get into that shit just to sell niggas the highest THC or the cheapest weed. Like
yeah,
I got into that shit to really help people. So it's like
yeah.
when all day all you get is, what's the cheapest y'all got? Y'all got $20 apes? Y'all got $15 apes? Or what's the highest THC? It's like, well, I'm gonna put in all this effort talking about
Yeah,
caryophyllene
yeah,
and
yeah. I feel
myrcene and
you.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
feel you. I feel you. I feel you. No, I
man.
feel you. I feel you. I feel you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely love the people that come in like, I don't know, I just got my card. This is my first
Mm-hmm.
time. Can you
Mm-hmm.
help me? Bitch,
Like,
yes. Where you
yeah,
want to start? I got
yeah.
you. I
I
got
love that
you.
shit.
Just like, yeah, people that are willing to learn, you know?
Yeah, that's all it really come down to. It's like that you willing to take a chance on shit, and that's why I be feeling like with drugs, it's a lot of like education, because I feel like, especially since I've been doing like shrooms a lot more, and
Ooh,
and it's like people look at you like especially like I ain't trying to make it a race thing, but
niggas, for real though.
black people definitely will look at you like
Cause like
side eye,
that type
like
of shit
you
was like,
crazy.
yeah, that type of shit was called like white people shit. Why you
Yeah,
doing that white people shit?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had like my ex ain't like that shit. She ain't under, well, yeah, she ain't like that shit. She ain't understand it. She was like, why you don't just smoke weed? But it's like, until you do it, you're not gonna understand like the difference. Like
And they
it's
literally can't tell you why they don't like it. They
other
don't
than the fact,
know.
and I always hear the same excuse. Oh, I'm gonna be the one to jump out a window. I'm gonna be the one to hurt myself or do
Bro,
some wild
what?
shit.
I'm not smoking that fucking K2 shit. What do you think this is? What do you think mushrooms are, bro?
They don't know. They just see videos and like other shit of people telling them, "Oh, I saw dragons," and I da da da, and then they just run with that shit. But
Nigga.
it's like,
Or
bruh.
like just trusting how they depict it in movies and shit, which is
Mm-hmm.
the most like, oh my
Embellished.
god,
Yeah,
exaggerated shit ever. Like,
yeah.
bro, you are not colors are not popping up out of nowhere. You
Right.
don't have
And
these
dots and
figures just in
unicorns
your
and
face
shit.
fucking with you, bro. Nigga, that's not what's happening. I
Right,
promise
at
you, it's
all.
not what's happening.
At
Like,
all.
and I
Like,
mean, okay, so like it could be what's happening, but that's with somebody that uses irresponsibly, my nigga.
mm-hmm,
Don't
mm-hmm.
go and eat a half ounce of mushrooms for your first, second, third,
Right,
fourth, fifth time. What are
right.
you doing? Why are
And then
you
be
doing that?
confused as to why you like seeing all types of wild shit. And
Nigga.
then, and you also have to and because I tell people this, everybody that asks me about shrooms, like how they start, how to do it, I always tell people, if you are not like in a good place with yourself,
Yes.
do not trip. Like, do not trip,
Because
because
that shit will have
that
you in
shit's
your
gonna
head, bro.
yes, like that
Yeah.
shit's gonna come to you like full force, and you got to
Yeah.
deal with that shit. A
Yeah.
lot of times when people say they had a bad trip, it's because they got some shit going on with them that they not dealing with, and
Yeah.
it comes to the forefront when you trip. Like that's the whole point. Like when you trip, is not to be taken like no just weed high. And that's why I tell you like it's a difference, because it's like it's not no just, oh, we just gonna go trip and then go hang out and do, no, like you gotta, if you're not in that space where you're like good,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna be able to have a good time. Like your
Mm-hmm.
brain is gonna take over and you're not gonna be able to enjoy yourself. So
Yep.
like you gotta be in a place where you, and I feel like it's like that with acid too. Like you gotta be in a place where you can take like your brain on some other shit. Like even with
Okay.
alcohol, if you're a person that's naturally aggressive and you just like you have all these demented thoughts when you sober,
Mm-hmm.
don't drink, because all it's
Yeah.
gonna do is take your inhibitions away, and you gonna just do the shit that you was already thinking about doing. When people be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I was drunk. I don't know what I was doing." You knew what you was doing, because you
Yeah.
wanted to do that same thing when you was sober. You just didn't. You stopped yourself because you had your intuition. But once
Yeah.
you drink, you let that shit go, and you just want to go with whatever your ego takes over.
That
So
little
it's like,
angel goes away and it's two devils.
and it's just two devils. Like, yeah, do that shit. Nigga.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like
Picking you up and shit.
right, like, and that's how people end up in all these fucked up situations, because you drinking, knowing you got all this shit on your heart, and I feel like that's what it comes down to with like drugs and like alcohol. Is like you got to know yourself, because it's like if you don't know your limits, if you don't know what you're doing it for, if you don't know, like I used to pop Zan, and that was because I couldn't sleep. or that's what I told myself. It's
Right.
like because I couldn't sleep. But
Yeah.
what it really was that I was so fucked up in my on the inside, just like all these things going on in my head, just depression, and then finding out like months ago that I'm diagnosed with like bipolar and ADHD
Mhm.
and all that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's like not knowing that and thinking that, oh, I'm just depressed and it's all this other shit. It's women, it's this, it's that, it's because I'm broke, it's because da 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 da,
Yeah.
and you know all these things, and then so I started taking Xans, and then it's like it becomes a whole thing. It's like it gets to a point where you have to know like okay, I need to chill. Like I
Yeah.
gotta figure some shit out. I gotta pull myself back. And a lot of people aren't able to do that. And that's why
Yeah.
you end up with these lifelong addictions because it's like these people can't escape. It's not the drug they can't escape. They can't escape themselves. Like they
Yeah.
can't stop doing these self-destructive things. And then they
Mhm.
end up because you see so many stories where it's like somebody will get off drugs and then something hard or they'll get off drugs and then they'll like something will happen. Like maybe something inconvenient. Like just it don't even gotta be a big deal. Like
It could be minor or
yeah,
major.
yeah.
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
like you get off drugs and then like your car break down or something. You're like, fuck. Well, I'm gonna just
Mhm.
go smoke this crack, feel better, like just one time, and now you back
Mhm.
on crack. You know what I'm saying? It's
Or
just
you done OD'd or some shit,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, or some shit like that. So it's like
Yeah.
it's always like a relapse, and then it's those type of things. So it's like it really comes from a place of just knowing yourself and being able to like know your limits and know where you know what I'm saying, where you could take these different things. And knowing what's for you. Like some drugs are just not for some people. Like you just not supposed I don't tell everybody to smoke weed. If you feel like you can't handle weed or it's making you anxious or whatever the fuck,
That is a
cool. I'm not
thing.
gonna
That
force you
is
to
a
smoke it.
thing.
I'm
That
not
is a
gonna say
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say just smoke it because I smoke it or it'll make you feel better. No, you just might not be a weed smoker. But I'm not gonna be
Weed
the same
can
person that
literally induce psychotic breaks up, bro. Like
okay.
weed is not the all good angel drug. Like it's not for everybody.
It's
Like
not
you said, so it's like keep that shit in mind, bro. It's people got to figure out what's best for them. But
like find your shit.
yeah,
And that
exactly.
doesn't have to be drugs. I don't want to make it
Yeah,
sound like
exactly. I was about to say that. Yeah, exactly. Find your drug of choice.
that. And just do that shit. Just commit
I
to
mean,
it.
I am pro drugs, but I'm not like doesn't mean you have to do drugs. So
Mm-hmm.
but it's real crazy because like the music that I'm into, or some of the music that I'm into. It's not all the music I listen to, but like electronic dance music and
Mm-hmm.
that whole like culture surrounding it with the like raves, festivals, shows, whatever you
Mm-hmm.
want to call them. Um, that shit, just seeing how normalized drug addiction is, and that
Yeah.
shit is
Yeah.
so it's so mind blowing because, like, people, okay, it's one thing if you're just like going to these festivals or like these 2, 3, 4 day long festivals and like just basically going on a bender for the whole time,
Right.
because a lot of people do that with alcohol when they go on these, like, go on vacations or
Yeah.
whatever. So, like,
Just be drinking
whatever.
all the time.
But
Yeah.
then that shit starts leaching into your regular life, and now you can't go out. Or like you have to go out all the time in your regular
Yeah.
life, and you can't go out without snorting coke or doing
Or
ketamine or
taking.
like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
shit is crazy to me, bro.
It's kind
Like,
of like off topic, but it's kind of on topic, but off topic.
mhm,
Cause somebody told me some shit, and I want to know like if it's true. Cause you
okay.
said you did ask before. They told me that if you do a lot of it, like throughout your life, like you could crack your back a certain way, and it'll like activate.
Oh my god, bro. No, that's not okay. So I know what they're talking about. I think that's something to do with like your pineal gland or whatever. And
Uh huh.
I
Uh huh.
feel like I've heard something about that, but it's definitely not with LSD. If
Okay.
anything, if that is true, which very far fetched, but if that is true, then it would be like if you do a lot of DMT. Because
Mm.
DMT is the that's like a super strong, like, psychoactive drug, but it
Mhm.
doesn't last nearly as long as LSD or as mushrooms, but it's so much more intense.
Mm.
So fuck, I lost my train of thought. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Yeah, so because DMT is something that already, like, a certain form of it is already something that naturally occurs inside of your body.
Yeah, I heard that's like the chemical that you give off like before you die or something like that, or like something
I've
like
heard
that,
that
or you have
too.
like near death experience or something like
I've
that.
heard that too, but cannot
Yeah.
confirm because I don't remember the last time I
Rumors.
died.
You know,
So,
whatever.
but I've definitely heard of that. And that's one of the like biggest things. I feel like we should do a drug like myth or fact situation because there
Yeah.
are a lot of things like that out there that people just spread so nonchalantly and
Mm-hmm.
it can like affect how people see certain drugs or
Mm-hmm.
how they go into it thinking or just keep spreading misinformation or so I feel like that should be a thing. But
Definitely.
yeah, DMT is something that I've never tried, but well,
I'm sketchy about that one.
I've never effectively tried it. I would love to try it, but that's just one of those things where you really have to kind of educate yourself on it with any
Yeah.
drug, I say, before you do any drug, whether it's weed, alcohol, coffee, bitch, research that shit on because
Mm-hmm.
you're putting that shit in your body,
Yeah,
So
definitely.
and some of these things, I'm pretty sure all of them have lasting effects, but some of these things have pretty detrimental lasting effects, especially if
Mm-hmm.
you aren't careful and intentional with how you do it. So
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
But that's definitely something that I want to try for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, for sure. They have these like at like festivals and stuff, people will have these little DMT pins. So it's like a cart, but it's filled with DMT.
God damn.
Yeah, I know.
And that's as
Shit
fuck.
gets crazy out there,
That's
bro.
wild as
And
fuck.
I've tried one of those, but it wasn't like it was like very very microdose. It was
Yeah.
alright. It was alright.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very pro experimenting with things. Just don't most when you're experimenting with most drugs, don't do that shit by yourself. Have
Yeah.
somebody there with you, like
Mm-hmm.
somebody that you trust too,
Mm-hmm.
because some
Motherfuckers
niggas
gonna
just
let you do whatever.
some
You be
niggas will
fucked
just
up.
leave you for dead, bro. Like that
Mm-hmm.
shit is big wild.
Hell yeah.
I
Hell
don't know
yeah.
who y'all be hanging out with, but that shit big wild.
Hell yeah.
Um, but yeah, did I finish my thought about the EDM
Nah,
community?
you talking about, my bad. You talking about the
Kinda.
EM.
Okay, I kind of finished it, but I guess I could expand. One
I
of
was
the
before
Go
you
ahead.
go to because I was actually gonna go to the point of because I know you're talking about the EDM shit, but when you think about it, it's actually promoted in every like genre. If you really think about it, like rap, they promote drugs. It might not be the same. It's the same. You know what I'm saying? In a
But
different way, but it's
yeah,
the same
yeah,
shit.
yeah. But I feel like if you're going to a rap concert, niggas are gonna be drunk, but that's not specifically because they're going to a rap, specifically rap concert. That's like niggas just are just going out to a concert and want to have a good time. But
Right.
in this like EDM shit, which has really because of like the basis of it, which is like peace, love, unity, respect. That's kind of like what it was founded on. Like there was a whole little hand thing to go along with it and
That
everything.
sound
Like
like some white people shit. I'm sorry.
I know, but
white
I
people love
think it was
white
real
people
too, bro.
white people love acronyms and like fucking hand gestures and fucking they just love that shit, bro. They
Bro,
love that shit.
I used to eat that shit up though. Okay, but anyway, yeah, so it's like they along with that, they've developed like other different little cute little practices, I guess, to go along with that, even though, like you said, most of them are like they want to be that, but they're not putting in the work to be that. So it's just all
Mm-hmm.
this fake spiritual woke ass shit, which I've
Yeah.
learned over the years. But so people will like ketamine is like the biggest thing. I remember it was like Molly and ecstasy, which was like the main thing. And for
Mm-hmm.
years, that's what everybody associated that like scene with. And as within the past like 5 years, I would say ketamine has become like the biggest thing. Like you're pretty much everybody there is gonna have ketamine, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I'm super afraid of like any nose drugs. So I have not tried like I just like things going up my nose.
Yeah.
No.
That just seems weird.
No, 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 bro. No, 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 no. And like I've heard about the post nasal drip along with the like just, I'm sure feeling discomfort for a little bit because you just snorted something up there and you're like feeling
Right.
it in your brain. No, 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 no.
No.
So yeah, I have not personally tried it, but bro, it's gotten so normalized that people sell jewelry that's pretty much just like these little spoons that you use to snort the shit off of. And
The
like
fuck?
no, like dead ass. They'll have it as like
Now that's
necklaces.
some white people shit.
Bro, it's so normal though, bro. It's so crazy. People have made earrings, necklaces, and like this. You don't have to search very hard to find this shit. Like that's how
Hmm.
normal it is. It's really wild to see that
Yeah.
shit. Like
I
niggas,
mean,
like niggas, when ketamine first started gaining traction in that scene, like a lot of the main point that would come up along with that is K holes, which
mm,
is okay. So first off, ketamine is a fucking horse tranquilizer.
mm,
Ketamine is also used clinically to treat depression, okay? But it's in very, very small doses. So it's basically micro doses, and you pretty much have someone there to monitor you the whole time. And I'm pretty sure it's intravenous. So it's like a needle through your whatever. Um,
mm-hmm,
so I don't know if motherfuckers was doing that shit, like was able to have that experience and then just started. I don't know, bro, but it's been described to me as like being drunk and tripping at the same time. I
mm,
know it's like once you take over a certain amount, it's actually a psychedelic instead of just being like a upper, I think. I don't know. But yeah, K holes, it's like if you take too much, you literally like it's kind of like those videos where you see niggas smoking K2, like they
mm,
inhale and then their eyes get all wide or some big crazy shit, like they're seeing some shit that nobody else is seeing, which they probably are.
mm-hmm. No
And like
bullshit.
niggas just start tweaking or like they just get stuck like
Mm-hmm.
in a K-hole, like you can't talk, you can't walk, you're literally stuck in whatever position you were just in, bro. Like that shit is so fucking wild. And niggas are just like carrying these spoons in necklace or earring
Yeah.
form or bracelet form, and it's cool, you know?
Mm-hmm. So
It's,
I was gonna say like as I saw this report, it said that people are taking drugs more than ever, and
yeah,
I was just thinking like, yeah, because shit is getting more and more fucked up. Like
yeah,
the more shit gets fucked up, the more people are gonna look for escape. So it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it makes sense.
People
Like it
just
definitely
don't know
makes
how to deal with their emotions. And like I understand because it's a fucking tough job. Like that
sense.
shit is work and it's constant work. It never
Constant work.
stops. So
God
I
damn.
like I get it, but also like
It's
people
necessary
just
though.
have to want better for themselves and
Yeah.
like believe that there can be better for them. I feel like a lot of people don't believe or don't have that hope, you know?
Nah. A
Um
lot of people I think it's interesting when I look at the way a lot of people view themselves.
yeah.
And just like the way people talk about themselves and just the way that they don't even realize they're talking down on themselves until you bring it up or you say something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've just heard so like just in small ways, like I like it's so many people who will say stuff like, well, knowing my luck, da 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 da, or
Yeah.
like, what I'm saying, stuff like that, and those even those small like little things just show how much you don't like yourself, like
Yeah.
you're down on yourself, and it's like people like laugh that shit off, or like how things about depression or wanting to like jokes about like wanting to kill yourself like go viral so much,
Mhm.
and it's like
Mhm.
there's a reason behind that, but
Mhm.
we all just laugh and shit. So it's
Yeah.
just interesting to see like as the world kind of like spirals as and people become more and more like I don't know, just distant, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, even like it trickles over, and I know it's like this is about drugs, but it trickles over into like relationships, everything. Like it just feels like
Mhm.
even now, even like relationships are so like flighty, where everybody's kind of just like, oh, I'll just find somebody else. I'll just,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's just whatever. Like even going back to drugs, like you start out like, oh, I'm gonna smoke weed, I'm gonna da da da. Now it's I'm gonna just pop a perk. I don't care. I'm gonna pop 3 perks. I'm gonna
I
pop five
hate
perks.
how
I'm
that
gonna sip
shit has
lean. I'm gonna
niggas in
just
a chokehold, bro.
and it's just like
Pills?
so. It's just so sad that like we've gotten to a point where like it just don't like nobody gives a fuck. Like it's just
Yeah.
like I mean, because at the same time, I'm not no preacher. I'm not nobody to be like, oh, you're supposed to live better and da da da. Like have fun,
Yeah.
live your life. Like we all gonna die. Fuck it. But
Yeah.
at the same time, bro, like why not have a better existence? Like than just
Yeah.
being peeled out all the time and just
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying? Like what does that do for you? Like how does that make you happy to just always be like fucked up or just always like not be coherent. But then
This
at the
just
same
breaks
time, it's like escape. That's just yeah.
like going like riding around, especially in DC, like and seeing these homeless people that are a lot of them are young now too. I mean, shit,
I noticed that. I
even out
noticed
here
that.
in North Carolina, bro, there's a lot of people that looks like they like just recently got it. They still got like somewhat of a nice wardrobe, or
Mm-hmm.
don't look still kind of like clean kept,
Slump,
But these
slump.
niggas just be out here slumped or talking to themselves like shit,
Mm-hmm.
which might not be drugs. I don't want to
Could be mental illness.
exactly. But sometimes it is drugs, so that's what I'm referring to. And it's just like, it breaks my heart, bro. It breaks my
Mm-hmm.
heart. Like, I remember one time when I was driving in DC, on New York Avenue, about to get on the highway, and it's just
Yeah.
like, where you could see the clear line of gentrification. You step
Mm-hmm.
one to the left, and it's like all these buildings and Union Market, and then you go
Mm-hmm. You
not
walk a
Union
little bit
Market, but
down. It's yeah.
you go to the right liquor store, a bunch of homeless people
Mm-hmm.
hanging outside of it, and there's
Mm-hmm.
always a bunch of homeless people walking up and down that median in the middle of this busy ass street. And one night when I was door dashing, I had an extra meal that nobody picked up, but it had meat in it, so I didn't want it. It was like a big ass Chipotle bowl, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was on my way home, and this lady is in the median, like asking for money. I was like, I got food. You hungry? I'm like hanging a Chipotle bag out the car. She's like, what? I was like, I got food. She's like, I don't want that shit. I want to eat $5. And I'm like, damn, bro. Okay. Like, you also gonna have to eat though,
Right.
like
Right.
sell that shit or something. Like, I don't know, bro. That shit breaks my heart. It breaks
Yeah. Cause it's like at that point, like it's the drugs is more important than the food, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like people don't want to be here. Like nobody wants to be here anymore.
Yeah.
That's the sad truth of it all. Like as
Yeah.
much as we all might have our escapes and our like we'll go out to parties and we want to travel and we want to do this and we want to do that. At some point, you still gotta come back to your regular ass, like. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like when you do, you remember like I don't want to be here. That's why you want to travel. That's why you want to go on vacation. That's why you want to go out the country and do this and go there and not go to work and go da da da. Because we don't want to live in this society because
Yeah.
it's not for us. So it's like it makes sense that people want to escape. Like it makes sense that nobody and I honestly feel like the collective like consciousness is starting to wake up just a little bit. Like
I think so too.
a lot more than in the past because I'm starting to see a lot of more people, even people who might not get it, are starting to question certain things. Like, why is this da 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 da?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it seem like this? Why is it always da 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 da?
Yeah.
And it's starting to be like, okay, all right, maybe it's clicking a little. It might not click the way you want it to, but you starting to see certain discussions that wasn't being had 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
feel
for
like
sure.
that's the progress that we've had through honestly through the internet and just being able to see things from other perspectives without actually being there, like
Mm-hmm.
being able to see like dang, people are like that, like there is somebody like that, like there's so many personalities like just on Twitter and like Instagram and TikTok, like all these people that come from situations that you never thought existed,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of open your eyes to be like, damn, like I ain't never think you could like as a human that could happen to you, know what I'm saying, or like somebody could go through something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think as we kind of open ourselves up to understanding other people's perspectives and like just understanding the world around us, like it'll start to click more, and I feel like that's when we'll be able to kind of get away from like the society that we have now.
But
But I
that
feel like
shit hard though,
it's
because
gonna take a
I do
while.
not want to
Yeah,
see from no privileged ass white person's point of view.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that should be sounding good as fuck, but when it comes to actually practicing it, I'm like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
really not trying to do all that, bro.
I feel that. Like I said, I'm not in the practice of like trying to teach people no more for real. Because I just I feel like if you welcome, like if you want to be taught, then ask the questions. But if
Yeah,
you in a space where you feel like you just you know everything and you already got the answers, and I'm not here to try to convince nobody that the way
bro.
that they live is wrong.
It's this one nigga that I fucking know, bro. Every time I like post something on my story that's like political, semi-political, like billionaires need to give away all their fucking money or prison
Mm-hmm.
abolition or, like everything, all the shit that we be talking about on here.
Mm-hmm.
This nigga always has some shit to say, bro. I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out of my DMs. I'm not trying to argue with you over this shit.
Right,
You either
right,
get it or you fucking don't. And if you
right,
don't, then you don't have anything to say to me.
right,
Like, go. Please
right.
exit.
That's how I be feeling.
Anyway,
Nah, that's exactly
I
how I
went
feel.
through the phase of wanting to like everybody needs to understand and get on the
Mm-hmm.
same page and da da
Mm-hmm.
da da. I felt like I was kind of in that headspace in season 1, but bitch,
Mm-hmm.
no, like
No.
that's just not realistic. It's
Nope.
not. You're literally gonna drive yourself insane trying to
Mm-hmm.
do that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's no point.
I've lost a couple Twitter accounts trying to like, you know what I'm saying, be the
Yeah,
superhero. And
argue
it's
niggas into making sense. Yeah,
yeah, and it's like
yeah.
what you realize is niggas understand. They either too dense to understand or they understand but they don't wanna go with what you
And they get
saying because
irritated because they
it's
want to be right.
they just wanna be right. They don't wanna admit you wrong. They just wanna keep arguing the same point. Cause with me now, if I go back and forth with somebody on Twitter, I get to a point where I just ask them a question, like the same questions that I had to ask myself in order to get to the thought process that I'm in now.
Yeah,
I ask them, and 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, I either get called a simp,
yeah,
sassy, um, what else? Or they say like um I don't know, pandering, whatever the case may be, simping, whatever. Like I'm always doing something for attention or something. Like every time because, and I know that that's because they can't argue me back. They can't
yeah,
answer that question. So it's
yeah,
like once
yeah,
I know I got you there, I don't need to say nothing else because I know now you asking yourself that same question,
yeah.
and now you can't even if you can't even fathom. Like I say this all the time. A lot of people have opinions on things that they don't even have like the mental capacity to understand. So it's like people, especially on Twitter, like or just in the social media like echo chamber. If you in a space where you only follow people who think like you,
Yeah.
once you enter another space where people are a little bit more intellectual when it
Mhm.
comes to these topics,
Mhm.
you understand where you sit at. So if I'm sitting here talk about, well, men think like this because blah, 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 and then you go up against an actual psychologist, it's like
Mhm.
who can give you that shit like in the actual terms and
Mhm.
tell you you're wrong. Now it's
Mhm.
like, oh, you stupid, you da, 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 I'm gonna block you, and it's and that's the world we live in where people can just say shit and
Yeah.
people will follow that shit just because they speak with charisma, and that's why we have so many like Donald Trumps and Andrew Tates and whoever the fuck else, because everybody's looking for it. Goes back to that escapism shit. Everybody's looking for somebody to follow. Everybody's
Mhm.
looking for somebody with the answers.
The fucking
Everybody's looking
Kevin
for
Samuels, bro. Like,
all that shit. And I will say this to Kevin Samuels. I will say this. I have gone back. No, real shit, real shit. I'm gonna say this.
oh Lord.
I've gone back and I've looked at like some of his shit because I be saying stuff. People like, yeah, y'all took him wrong and y'all went off his clip. So I was like, all right, let me go back and actually like look.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what I will say is he did give men and women the same energy. It was very harsh. It was very harsh. And sometimes he overdid it. And I felt like he might have overdid it because he knew he was getting looks and he knew like he could go viral off that shit.
Mhm.
But I will say he did give men and women the same energy. And when women said certain shit about like I need to have a 6 figure this and da 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 da, while also not chasing their dreams, while also not doing the work, while also being the same person, like not because I'm all about like if I'm gonna be working on me, you gotta be working on you. So I'm
Mhm.
not gonna be in a situation where a woman gonna tell me what I need to do and what and you not doing the same shit. That's just what it is. And
And
I feel like a
listen,
lot of the times that's what it was when he was giving that type of energy. Now, if it was unwarranted, I'll say like, nah, he wildin'.
but
But
listen, I understand all that. And I agree with all it. Some of them women will go on there wilding, bro.
yeah,
Like, why the
yeah,
fuck? Why would that come out of your mouth?
yeah,
But, but, but the body shaming,
yeah,
not cool.
yeah.
I feel like I never followed this nigga, so I wasn't like catching all the lives. I saw it the first time I heard of this nigga is when my brother introduced him to me and showed me like a snippet of his live. I
Mhm,
heard one thing this nigga said, it was like, bruh, turn that shit off. And then I
mhm,
kept seeing like snippets and stuff, and I feel like he might have been treating the women the same as the men, but would men come on there as frequently as the women?
No, probably not. But I feel like that's not like me. Me personally as a nigga, I wouldn't go on that shit. Like, why would I need another man to like validate me? Like, why would I care what a nigga think? Like, that's just me though. So I don't know like why niggas
Exactly.
ain't wasn't on it.
Niggas
But
be
like,
insecure out here, and I'm
but
sure
but 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 but
you
doesn't that
gonna
mean
turn
those
into the Kevin
right
Samuels
right right
episode.
like but look there, I got so look, does that make those women insecure as well for needing his validation or needing him to like
Absolutely.
all right, that's
Absolutely.
all I needed.
Absolutely.
That's all
Yes.
I needed.
Yes.
Now I will say the same, and this it all wraps in the same thing because it all goes back to escapism. But I feel like the same niggas who blindly follow him, Andrew Tate, dudes like that, whatever, are the same people or the same types of people who end up in those like rapper drug kind of like worlds where they want to take lean, like do lean and all these other things, not because they actually want to, but because
Mhm.
they feel like that's the end shit, or like they try and hang out with their mans, they try and pop the pop the Roxys and the Perties and all that other shit and do all the shit that everybody else doing. And I feel like
Period.
that's why you see a lot of like younger kids now. They saying like the crime in DC is like all like 19 and down. Like, well, not all, but like a lot of it is
It's
like
so bad. Yeah.
people like, yeah, like kids. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like you see the influence and like just the culture of everything. And I feel like it's all tied in. And I hate when I say this shit and people are like, oh, it's a conspiracy. And you got your third eye and da 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 da. It's like, no, but it's like, it's if you read between the lines, you can see how everything is promoted. Like, you can see how things are pushed. You can see how they push in certain images and certain things. Like, why is it a conspiracy to say that like they're pushing drugs in rap music when it literally almost 90% of the songs that you hear is like I'm popping perks, I'm drinking lean. Future himself said he don't drink lean, but he got at least half his catalog is about him drinking lean.
That's so weird.
He said of himself he was sober like for like the longest. But talk about weed and da da da, and I do this. Most honestly, if you look at the interviews and shit of these rappers, most of them will say, I don't drink or smoke."
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of them say that.
Yeah.
So it's like, but they know they pushing that image. So
Yeah.
it makes you wonder, like, okay, so why are they telling us to do it if they not doing it?
You a
But people,
sellout for real.
you sell out. You definitely a sellout, and that's
Yeah.
what it comes down to. 10 times out of 10 is like, are you willing to with the drug shit? It's like you might even if you're not if you even though you're tough enough to not like do that, or even though you around that shit, and you know niggas that do that shit.
Nigga,
You
if
know.
you're smart, if you have any type of brain in your fucking skull, you would know that you have such a mass influence over people. And
Hmm.
that's why they're even encouraging you to put this shit out. Because
Hmm.
they know that little motherfuckers, young ass motherfuckers, are gonna listen to you.
Hmm. And they gonna do that shit
This
because
violence shit that's being pushed, the drugs, like all that shit, bro. That shit is not cute. It's not cute. And that's literally all that niggas listen to.
hmm. Yeah.
You got so many young rappers that have died within the past 2 years from
Shit's crazy.
drug overdose or just from like some stupid ass gun
Shootings,
violence,
all types
bruh.
of shit. Yep. Just dumb
This
shit.
shit is so fucking frustrating to see this shit happening in real motherfucking time. But I feel
Mhm.
like that's nothing new. Like this, it's
No,
always been that.
I think honestly, because when people talk about like generations and da 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 da, I don't think it has nothing to do with that. I think it's about technology. It's just access to technology. Because when you think about it, you had serial killers and shit like that back in the day. They
Yeah.
just didn't have guns. If you had niggas who was out here like stabbing, oh, he stabbed 4 people. That's because he can only get to 4 people before they got his ass because he had a
Mm-hmm.
knife. Let
Mm-hmm.
him have had a gun in 1972. He would have lit their ass up. So it's like
Yeah.
that's the only thing. It's the technology. Like when you got a rifle, you got I saw a video where they was talking about like like the switches where you could put it's like a little cube that you could put on the back of your gun, like certain guns, where it'll change it from a semi-auto to an auto. But like the thing about it is that gun not designed to shoot automatic, so you just spraying basically, and it's nobody who could control that shit. So when you
Oh, I
got
see.
14, 15-year-olds running around with that type of shit,
Yeah.
yeah, people gonna die. Like, that's
Yeah.
just what it goes with. But then you have to ask yourself, how do these things get into neighborhood? I seen a video. They said you could 3D print them jumps. You could 3D print a whole gun.
You could 3D print anything, bro. They're 3D printing houses. If
Right.
you can 3D print a fucking house, my nigga, you can 3D print anything.
Right. So it's like the technology is so at a point where I don't think that we as a people, like as a society, understood like how far technology was going to surpass us. Like, I don't think that the people who,
Nobody could foresee it except for the
yeah,
motherfuckers that were inventing it.
yeah, not even, I don't even think they understood where that shit was going
Until
to
they, yeah, that's
go.
true. That's true.
because
That's true.
because you gotta understand, like, we at the beginning of this shit, honestly, because we, like, if you was born in like the 1990s, you saw like dial-up, you saw like, you know what I'm saying, like before the internet was where it was at, before we even had like cell phones for real, like cell phones for real, like when niggas still had like flip phones and shit like that, like you had CDs and shit, like that transition was so quick, where it was like, one second it was like tapes, and then next thing it was like iPods, and it was just like, hold up, like, what just happened? Because I remember having a CD player in like middle school, and then by the time I like graduated, or not even that, by the time I was in high school, I had like a iPod. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that quick ass transition for a human being is not, it's not natural. Like, none of this shit is natural, and I think it's so crazy, and it's weird to say that as we're sitting here like making a podcast on, computers and doing all that, you know what I'm saying? So we've obviously had to adapt into the world, but it's like, also, I think, like I said before, like, technology has like gone so quickly, has advanced so quickly, that I don't think we understand like how much farther it's gonna go.
There's no way for us to understand the lasting effects because it's literally being experimented on right
In
now.
real time.
We are like the
Exactly.
test subjects. But
Exactly.
I will say, I think I think technology is I don't even know if I could call it the driving force, but technology, I think, just makes it easier for the bigger agenda at hand. I don't
Yeah.
think technology definitely isn't the origin, like
No, no, no.
before.
I meant like in the sense of like, that's the reason why it's ramping up, I would say.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Nah, definitely
Before,
not the
I
reason.
mean, shit, nigga. Okay, so honestly, I think we could trace all this shit back to when would that be, like the mid to late 60s, like around the time that Black Wall Street was popping, or maybe no, I think it might have been before that. Around the time that Black Wall Street was popping and niggas finally realized, like, hey, we finally broken free of these fucking shackles, and you know how we could stay this way if we work together, if we support each other, if we're there for each other, and like outsiders, who are you? Why are you over here? And for what? Guns cocked and loaded. The fuck is up? But bro, we had the fucking key, bro. It was literally right there in our fucking hand. Once we understood that was the answer to everything, my nigga, that's when I hate to say this like such an umbrella term, but like the government was like, oh shit, they finna reverse all this fucking psychology that we've been doing for years and years and years to keep these motherfuckers in the gutter. Let's drop these big ass fucking bombs on their shit and watch how they recover from that. Oh, let's get them to come fight for our country, be the heroes and shit while we're trying to recruit them. And then once they're back with all these fucking mental health issues and fucking physical issues too, because niggas lost limbs and part of their face and shit. Oh, let's not help them. Or let's help them in a way that's not helpful, and let's piss on them while they're on fire and say that we're helping them type shit,
Like shit.
like let's drop the fucking guns and the fucking crack and shit in the fucking neighborhoods where it's literally filled. That was literally fucking Anacostia, bro. That shit breaks my fucking heart when my dad explained that shit to me. He was driving me through Anacostia one day because I grew up on Wheeler Road, but
Mm.
it was on the Maryland side. So
Mhm.
you literally drive 5 minutes down the road, my nigga. You're in Southeast,
Mhm.
and my parents were always like, the stigma that comes with that Southeast and shit. But
Yeah.
he drove me through and showed me like the base and stuff that's over there, and he was
Mhm.
like, why these streets be looking like this now, like it was people that went and served for this country. The shit that I just said, that went and served for this country, went under the impression that they were helping, or they had no other option
Yeah.
because niggas was broke and needed money for themselves
Mhm.
and their
That's why all these
families.
recruiters sit in the hood.
Yeah, and you had no other like career option being promoted to you. Like for
Mhm.
women, it was to be like a nurse, and for men, it was to go into the
Work at a
army,
factory or some shit.
work
Oh
in a
yeah.
factory, or go into the army.
Mhm.
And then they come back with all these ailments, and then we're not going to help you, but here you go, have fun
Have
with
these
that,
drugs.
have fun,
Have these drugs and keep it moving.
have fun. And then that shit started spreading into the white communities, and it was like, oh
That's
shit,
when that's when they start panicking.
oh shit, I guess it's a class war now, I bet. Okay,
Mhm.
y'all got it. Here's some more,
Right.
here's some more, here's some more. And they're just now catching up with that shit when they started, I think when they started legalizing marijuana medically is when they're like, all right, like this shit is getting, it was with the opioid crisis.
Mhm.
It was when that the doctors were getting so much flack for prescribing this reckless shit, bro, because
Mhm.
of the salespeople having a really good sales pitch and not understanding the consequences of what the fuck they were doing. And the next thing you know, you have like a record high in deaths, in
Mhm.
overdoses. And it's from things that these doctors, these people that are nationally recognized as like people that we go to for help,
Mhm.
is when that shit started happening. Um, and they were like, all right, okay, fuck. And it was years of that. We had to go through years of that crisis before they considered legalizing marijuana medically. And when I was working at the dispensary, I'm sure you get this shit too. There were so many people that had served, there were veterans,
Mhm.
or that had been previously addicted to, bro, I was literally just talking to this lady at a fucking farmer's market in North Carolina, bro. Like this shit it was happening everywhere.
Mhm.
Like the people, they're either veterans or had like pill problems before, and then they started smoking weed, and it
Yeah.
was like, wow, all my problems solved.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm no longer in pain. I'm no longer having such intense or as consistent like PTSD episodes. I'm no
Mhm.
longer ready to fucking kill myself every 2 seconds. Like, wow. Wow. And then once people figured that out for themselves through self-medicating, trial and error, RIP to the ones that lost their lives along the way who didn't know, that's when that people started advocating for it. And then that's when, that's how it started, that this domino effect of these states slowly legalizing medically and then recreationally and all that good shit. But
Mhm.
just like these people that are in charge don't give a fuck, bro. They don't
Mhm.
give a fuck about you.
At all.
Whether
At
you
all.
black or white, Hispanic, motherfucking what, bro, they don't give a fuck.
Mm. It's about their money.
They don't
Cause
give
you
a
got,
fuck.
cause at the end of the day, and like, to what you were saying, like the whole like Black Wall Street thing. I feel like honestly, it's way like farther back than that.
You
Like
think so?
hell yeah, I think it goes back to like even before like slavery for real. Like I think it's a neo-colonialism thing. Like that's just
Mhm.
like
All right.
like white people spreading out their shit. Like that's how they and I don't mean that like when I say that, I mean the elitists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that 1%. Because I feel like these problems are not just our problems. You know what I'm saying? Not saying like just American problems, but I feel like because America has such a concentration of different people, more
Mm-hmm.
than I feel like any other place.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's why you see a lot of the kind of like just the shit that you see with America. Like when you give I say this shit all the time. When you give a bunch of people, you put a bunch of people in one place who all got issues with each other. and then you give them a bunch of quote unquote freedom, what you
Mhm.
think gonna happen?
Yeah.
Chaos. So
Yeah.
it's like essentially that's what America is. It's what looks like control because on a day to day basis you drive to work, you go home, boo 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 boo. But what you really got to understand is like there's so many things that happen on a day to day that you don't think about that
Mhm.
it's like America is crazy. Like America is wild as fuck, but we
Mhm.
don't recognize it because we all live in our little bubbles, and that's what America's created for us. It gives you the impression that oh, as long as you make your money and you da da da, you take care of your house and you da da, like you good. Like you don't got to worry about whatever's going on your TV or what's going on behind the scenes and the oil. Just keep paying your taxes. Keep the gas prices raise up. Don't worry about it. Just keep paying for it. Just keep
Mhm.
buying gas and it's like don't ask questions and just keep moving. Like that's how they try to like put you in that shit. And that's why when you say like it's not a race thing, it's not just even though we get like dark skinned people globally get the butt of the stick. If you look at the Asian like what's it called like the Asian
Community.
world community,
Mhm.
they look down on darker like Asian people. Like Filipinos are looked at as like us, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
their communities. And the
Mhm.
lighter you are as an Asian person, the more revered you are, or how like you know what I'm saying, like they look at that type of shit. So it's like it's
People really just don't like dark skinned people.
that's what it is. Like that's what it really comes down to. It's just you have to understand that people all over are fucked up because of capitalism, because of these like the crusades and all of these things that happen for like since like the Roman Empire
Mhm.
and you know what I'm saying, all these things that happen that kind of trickle down to where we are now. Like people are still benefiting from money that they got from like before slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it's families that still eating off of like England money.
Mhm.
So when it's that, it's bigger than just America. It's a global thing. It's the global like trying to kind of like transformation of people. Like it really what it seems like to me is like a global social experiment. But at the end of the day, like we are still people. So it's like I don't want to make it seem like the government, like obviously the government hating on us a lot more, but I don't want it to seem like white people can't go through shit or like white people ain't struggling too. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
it's a lot of white people who are going through hard times, like financially, that's really struggling, that's in the streets. Like you know what I'm saying? Just
Mhm.
so it's I don't even if I'm going to be pro black as fuck to the day I die,
Mhm.
but I honestly feel like the problem is that we have so much like division just between just anything that it's like they find ways to make us fight in so many different ways and we don't even realize it because it's like we too busy fighting. So you either trying to escape or you in the midst of it like headstrong, like you one of them people that's like social justice to the T. But then those people get so burnt out and fucked up because they going through all this trauma of like uh uh protesting every day and like seeing your friends get tear gassed and all these different things. So you either like escaping and you like, all right, well I'm just not going to deal with none of it, or you
Mhm.
like I'm gonna be in the front lines and I'm gonna deal with all of it. And
Mhm.
and it's sad that that's kind of like the extremes you have to pick, because even with me, like on a day to day, I see the shit that happens, like, and I'm seeing like how things are starting to snowball, and you seeing like you know what I'm saying, certain things, and it's scary for real. But at the same time, it's like I gotta live my life. You know what I'm saying? I can't like panic every day because
Can't
some
let that
news.
shit consume you.
Yeah, you can't let it consume you. So you gotta just live your life and try to enjoy it as much as you can. But I always feel like I have this kind of like anxious feeling in the back of my head of like shit about to pop off at any moment. Like
For
and
sure.
it's sad that I'm always like, even when I go out in public now, it's like I went to the movies the other day and like for a split second I was like, man, what if somebody just came in and started shooting? Like what the
No,
fuck
but
gonna
why
happen?
does my mom be like, that's one of her worst fears now. This is like a newfound fear when I go to the movie theaters or anything with like large crowds that there
Yep,
will be a mass shooting.
yep,
This shit is crazy. I didn't
yep.
think my first time going to the movie theaters post COVID was with the like new Jurassic World movie.
Mm-hmm.
I fell asleep. I literally cannot stay awake in movie theaters nowadays. It's so annoying. I'm like literally my dad. But she said that shit afterwards, that she was kind of like on edge for the first part of the movie, and I was like, damn, I didn't even think about that, bro. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
And so like this, bro, like that could happen. That could be a thing.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. It's hard because you can't escape forever. You know what I'm saying? You got to be here, but then at the same time, it's like you don't really want to be here. So it's like you just kind of end up in this limbo of
In
like,
between, yeah,
just kind of floating. And
you
that's
just
how.
gotta have fun and be as intentional as possible while we're here.
Yeah.
But hold on, I want to change course a little bit. Shout out to motherfucking Colorado for legalizing mushrooms in these recent midterm elections. That shit is lit.
And shout out to Maryland for legalizing weed.
Okay, yes, I was about to get there, but hold on.
Oh, okay, my bad.
We definitely finna get to the home state, okay?
Yeah, you
But
know.
in Colorado, they were saying, I read this article or whatever that was saying there's gonna, like, they'll offer it in mushrooms. They'll offer them in like these like little clinics and stuff, but it's not like a medical clinic. It's just kind of, it's open to the public if you're over 21, I think. But you can't legally do it in your home, which I do not understand. Like, weird.
Wait, so where would you do it?
Why are you trying to monitor me, bestie? And these little like things, and these little what do they call it? Clinic is what I can think of right now. It's like in these little places that are made for recreational use.
Who gonna do that?
I know, bro. I know. I know, right? I'm doing that shit in my house, bro.
Right, like you gotta be fucked up. Like go to a public place where I don't know nobody and do shrooms. That sounds like a bad idea.
Literally, why are you trying to set me up? But yes, also shout out to Maryland for legalizing cannabis recreationally. Let's fucking go. Are you excited?
Yes and no.
Why?
Like working in a dispensary is like, it's become now every day we getting calls like, "Oh, y'all recreational? Can I just come?"
I can't.
Yeah. So yeah.
I can't.
But other than that, I am, and I heard the tax on that shit can be crazy.
Hell yeah, bro! It is every time.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I'm happy that more people gonna have access, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's gonna open it up, and I think what I'm most happy about is the fact that they said they're gonna drop charges for people with drug related shit. So that's what I was most excited about.
Hell yeah, that shit lit. I kind of I'm kind of in the same headspace as you. I think it's great that people will have more access, but also more access might not be the best thing because they're not like increasing education, you know. Even medically, when you go to get your fucking card, I can only speak to Maryland because I only went through it in Maryland. Bruh, these doctors don't give a fuck. They don't give you no type of, they don't give you no type of info sheet, no type of, hey, here's the basics, here's this and that, here's a Mythbuster fact page, you know. It's like they don't give you anything. They're literally like, what's wrong with you? Oh, I have chronic back pain. Oh, okay, bet. Give me your money and here you go.
Then they just send you to the dispensary, and then you got these old ass 80-year-old women coming in here talking about, I never smoked weed before.
That's wild.
And the doctor just sent me in here with no instructions.
And then you're leaving it up to like hopefully they get a good bud tender, because if not, my nigga, they're gonna recommend them to these 25 milligram edibles, and then they're gonna be fucked up, and they're not gonna want to try nothing like that ever again. Like shit is so irritating.
Yep. And the thing about being a bud tender is like you don't need formal training. You don't get like
at all, which is so wild.
And you got people who will go in there, and this for everybody that go to dispensary. Like you get weed from dispensaries, and most of the time niggas do not be knowing what they talk about. They flying off that.
They literally fake it till they make it, bro.
They fake it like shit, and
if it sound good to you, it sound good to them, my nigga.
And if it costs you some money, they gonna tell you, yeah, go buy that shit. And then so when you be like, oh, I ain't like it, they could be like, oh, well, you picked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be trusting everybody who just because they say they're bud tender, because you don't need no type of training. I know a lot of people think you need like you gotta have some type of certification. No, you don't. You can just apply like any other job.
Yep. That shit wild, bro. Of course, I did the most before I interviewed. Before I started applying to dispensaries, I took this random ass training, like
Oh
online
nah.
training course, my nigga. I was studying like shit, trying to memorize the
Just to get in
cannabinoids
there
and
and
their
work with
different
niggas who ain't know
uses.
shit.
And then I got in there and it was just like I was interviewing for a retail job and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, now I got
Right,
the knowledge. Now I
right,
can really help people, But if you have somebody that's not that passionate about it, like I am, and they
right.
literally just in there to work with weed or
Get
woohoo.
discounts and shit.
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna have that great of an experience.
Nah.
I mean, you might, but like, there's a good chance that you might not. So,
And that's the thing with the recreational side. I just feel like it's gonna be a lot of like misinformation and a
yeah,
lot of like just
it's
yeah,
gonna be a lot more of this marketing shit with bringing
yeah.
celebrities on. A lot more
Mm-hmm.
of the price jacking. A lot more
Mm-hmm.
of like these big corporate companies now coming from
Jumping
out of
into the
state
Maryland market.
that
Yep.
come, that come from out of state. Don't give a fuck about
The
any of y'all.
the company I work for, Shade,
Ooh,
um,
ooh,
came from Chicago or one of the states and just starting to pop up shops in Maryland. Don't got no type of understanding of how the market work or how people, you know what I'm saying? The people don't have no relationship with the people.
yeah.
Don't barely come to the store. Don't know none of our names
That
for real.
shit irked
So
me, bro.
it's like it's a whole lot of that. But luckily, I'm in a space where I can talk directly to people, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't let nobody play with me
Yeah,
directly. But I do know it's other people in situations where like they not getting the same voice.
yeah.
So it's just like it just sucks to see these corporations just come into the. And I even wrote that shit in like in the little surveys they had was like if you focus more on the money than you focus on your clientele and the people that work for you, you're gonna fail. Like you're gonna fail, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just what it is. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I hope that they see that shit in real time and they figure that shit out. But at the same time, it's not my shit to care about. So I'm
I
gonna do my
mean, the
job and go
money will
home.
speak louder than anything else. If that's what you got in it for, that's all you're fucking paying attention
Right,
to. And that
right,
shit, I'm so anti corporate cannabis. Let me tell
yeah,
you, if I
yep.
start, my nigga, we're gonna be going for another 2 hours. Like that shit is just so. It's just, ugh, they don't care about the people, and it's
At
so
all.
obvious. But because it's weed, and it's like, woo, it's like
Mm-hmm.
like niggas
Mm-hmm.
don't care about them not caring. Like,
Nope.
just give them their weed type
Just give
shit.
me my weed so I can go home.
That shit crazy, bro. That shit
Yeah.
mad irritating. Mad
And it all
irritating.
and it honestly it really does like frustrate me like just the escapism that people use because it's just not even with just drugs but just in every facet you could just it's just so obvious that everybody's like running from shit and
Mm-hmm.
people and I get it like it's tough to deal with your shit and it's tough to deal with your past and tough to deal with everything but like just do that shit like do the work bro like I'm so tired of seeing people complain about the same shit every day, but then you not trying to do nothing better. And then when I tell you, oh, do this, try da 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 da. Oh, well, it's hard. It's easier said than done. Okay, just because it's easier said than done, don't mean it's impossible, my nigga. Like, do
Literally.
that shit, bro.
Literally.
Like you could either sit there and wallow in self pity for the rest of your fucking life, or kill
Yeah.
yourself, or whatever the fuck you gonna do, or
Yeah.
you gonna fix this shit. But at the end of the day, bro, I'm sorry, but people are just not gonna give a fuck as much as you want them to. Like even the people that care about you are only gonna be able to tolerate so much before they're like, bro. You pulling everybody else down because you don't want to pull yourself up, and that's all
Yeah.
it really come down to. Because at the end of the day, you are responsible for you. Your mom, your dad, whoever might have did whatever to you, and I'm sorry for that. Like any type of victim, like I'm never gonna victim blame nobody. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to get the fuck back up. Like
Mm-hmm.
can't nobody pull you back up. Can't nobody save you from them drugs. Can't nobody save you from the shit that you going like. At the end of the day, it's your job to do the work. Like figure yourself out. Like find
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Like love yourself. Figure out how to love yourself
Yeah.
before you love everybody else and give everybody else everything. Like love yourself first, and you
Mm-hmm.
won't even it won't even matter about like the drugs and all that shit. Like love yourself first, and everything else going like take care of yourself. But a lot of people aren't ready to start there. They want to skip that step and jump straight into let me get into a relationship. Let me start a business. Let me do this. Let me do that. And now when your relationship not going good and your business not going good and your ventures aren't going good. Now you want to resort to drugs. Now
Yeah.
you want to resort to alcohol. Now you
Yeah.
want to resort to sex. Now you want to
Mm-hmm.
resort to this. It's like, but those things don't happen if you're in a space where you're like, okay, even if this thing fails, I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and that's what it
Yeah.
comes down to, is that ability to say, all right, even if I get down on my luck, I'm not going to resort to this. I ain't never going to be sad enough to do crack. I'm sorry. I'm just not. Because there's nothing about crack that makes me want to be like, I'm going to try that.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
I'm good on that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, for me, I know that for a fact. Even if somebody's like, well, you never know. I know, sir. I promise I know. Unless somebody give me that shit on like on some lace type shit or like some shit like that. And even in that, I don't smoke nothing that I ain't rolled myself. So
Yeah.
that's just me. So it's just like, if you're not setting those same boundaries for yourself and you just living life like, I'm gonna just do whatever and I'm gonna just escape and just never have to deal with anything I do, you gonna end up in those crack situations
But
because
bro, because when you said lace, it just like triggered something in my brain. I wanted to talk about this earlier and then it like escaped me. But when you talk about escapism, bro, I feel like a good example is this fentanyl shit and how
mm-hmm,
it came onto the scene with being like that's the shit that people are lacing other shit with, and that's how niggas
mm-hmm,
are dying.
mm-hmm.
Now niggas are going out here looking for
Yeah,
fentanyl.
they looking for it. Mm-hmm.
This shit is crazy.
But it's like I said though, people don't want to be here no more,
I
and they trying to find
know.
every
I
reason. They
know.
trying to find every way to like, as sad as it sounds, they trying to find every way to kill themselves without actually like doing it.
I know.
You know what I'm
People
saying?
just carry it breaks my heart. People just carry so much weight that they've just like it's been building up for years and years
Mm,
because people don't deal with their shit. They don't work
mm-hmm,
through their shit. They just
mm-hmm,
suppress and like you
mm-hmm,
said, escape. So they're walking around with this like 250-pound weight on their back and
mm-hmm,
like breaking down more and more each day. And then it's like, bro, I'm just ready to surrender to the
mm-hmm,
wrong shit. Like at this
mm-hmm,
point, bro, you're tired. You don't give a fuck.
mm-hmm,
And like you said, shit is just getting worse every day. It's like,
mm-hmm.
damn, niggas can't catch a break. What the fuck?
Right.
And it just this addiction shit really breaks my heart, bro. Cause it can get you like that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't gotta see that shit coming. It can
Yep.
get you just like that.
Yep.
Even if you're in years of recovery.
Yep. All it takes is one
Yeah.
moment, one lapse of judgment.
I have family members going through that shit and have put
Same.
nigga not fentanyl. Well, actually, I take that back. Yes, fentanyl. But niggas have put like their immediate family through the ringer, have put
Mm-hmm.
like in front of extended family members. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm not gonna go into too much details because she might listen to this, but
Hey, I'm trying to do business.
yeah,
Cause I
no.
think about it too, but then I was like, ah.
I know, but it's really heartbreaking, especially when you see that shit up close, because
Yeah.
like that's not that person anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's strictly the shit that they're addicted
The
to.
day
Like
on,
that
yeah.
shit is literally like it's controlling you. It's controlling
Mm-hmm.
everything that you do, and no matter how much you want to get better, it seems like it's just impossible because the
Mm-hmm.
work is so much more than just wanting it. Like
Yeah.
it has to be a choice
A
every
choice,
day. You
yeah.
have to move with intention every day.
And
And
that's the thing that people don't get, is like, when your brain is already hardwired for you to be like depressive and depressing
mhm,
and all these other things,
yeah.
it's not gonna work against you. Like, it's gonna go with whatever you naturally give it. And then
Mhm,
like, a lot of people overcomplicate like their brain, but it's like your brain is just gonna go off of whatever natural impulses you already had. So if you speaking negative things onto yourself every day, your brain is just gonna go with it. It doesn't understand right and wrong. It doesn't understand good and bad. It doesn't understand like sad and happy. All it is it's trying to help you survive. Like, not even help. The only purpose of your brain is for you to survive. That's all it cares about. It
do you
don't care
think
about your feelings. It don't care about none of that.
sex is a drug?
It can be used in that sense because it creates dopamine, and if you get addicted to dopamine, or just that boost of it, because you can, I feel like, get to a point where you only see sex as a way to like, the same way you would use like weed, where you like, okay, I had a bad day, I'm gonna call this girl up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so if it's in that same sense, then yeah,
Same with porn and shit.
same,
It's
yeah.
really crazy to me because you still have so many people that are like, that don't believe weed is actually can be used medicinal and is a medicine. But they out here like needing to have sex 2-3 times a day, or drinking coffee like fuck, have 2 to 3 cups every morning, or you come home every night after work and need to have, or just really want to have a glass of wine, and you're gonna have that glass of wine because it's normalized, or just like something as simple as, my nigga, you're scrolling through social media whenever you're free time, and my nigga, I'm addicted to social media and I know it. And I say it all the fucking time. I really wish it wasn't that way, but shit. That's kind of why I want Twitter to go ahead and die. Like, bitch, release me, bro. Like, I know I could be doing so much more if I wasn't a slave to fucking Twitter, bro. But yeah, it's just weird that people don't see that clear hypocrisy when they get down on like one specific drug, but bro, you're participating in so many others.
Because people don't see, a lot of people don't see the similarities in things. And that's one thing that I've noticed with people. I was just thinking about this shit like earlier. Like, I think I give people too much credit a lot of times. Like, I assume that a lot of people are way smarter than I think they are. Well, than they are. And then I get mad because I'm like, how are you not getting this? But then I have to remember myself, like, maybe they're just not on that like level, like they're not there yet. So it's like, it's not, and that's not to say like
they might not ever get there.
And they might not ever get there. And that's not to say I'm like on this pedestal or like, you know, my third eye is so open that I see everything. But it's just like certain experiences and certain things will just make you see stuff differently, and then you'll be like, oh damn, I was tripping. Because I used to be one of these niggas. Like, I used like 10 years ago, not even that, 5 years ago, I used to be one of these niggas, the same nigga that saying the same misogynistic. I might not have been on the same like level because I've always had a sense of like, that don't seem right. But I didn't know what it was, you know what I'm saying? I was still on my bullshit. So it's just like, it took me a process to get to the point where I'm at right now. So, and a lot of people are like, dang, you think so, you know, like out there, da, da, da. It's like, bro, it took a long time to get. Like, it wasn't no, like, I just woke up one morning and all of a sudden I saw the world differently. It was like, I had to like go through things.
Bro,
like,
do you know how much this brain has been through to get here?
Like, traumatized and shit that, you know what I'm saying, that you are to get to a point where you like see everything for what it is. It's like, it's not a fun experience at all. Like, it's you make the fun out of it, and you know what I'm saying, you take it for what it is. But at the end of the day,
it's a harsh reality.
When you really understand what's going on and you see it for what it is, it's nothing good about it. Like, you have to make the best out of it, because like, when they really, like, ignorance really is bliss. Like, when you can sit in these spaces,
is not for the weak, bro.
It's not easy to be able to like to just know certain things, because it's like, now you can't enjoy certain things,
or to just see things a certain way.
You just see things differently. And it's like, because now, even with me, I'll be on Twitter and I'll see some shit that I know 2-3 years ago I would have laughed my ass off, but now I look at it and I'm like, that's not funny, because like da-da-da-da-da, and I'm thinking all these deep ass, like, I'm thinking a whole think piece about this joke that somebody said, and it's just like, damn, like, I can't even enjoy jokes the same way no more, because it's like, I see them for why they're a joke instead of like the joke itself, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, those type of thoughts is why I understand why, and that goes back to the drugs as well, because you gotta think, a lot of these people might be having those same thoughts, and that's why they end up on drugs. Like, if I'm thinking about these things every day, it's I smoke weed daily, like, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's the only thing that I won't say the only thing, because I have a support system, and, you know, I have things of that nature, luckily. But for people who don't have that, if you're stuck with those type of thoughts every day, like, imagine if you and me didn't have like people like us to talk to this, like, with this stuff about, you know what I'm saying? And we were in an environment or in a place where everybody thought like Trump, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was Donald Trump type shit. And then you're the one person there that's thinking like, nah, that's not right. It's not right to treat people like that. It's not right to think like that. Then it's like, you don't have that support. You don't have people who you can go to and be like, I don't agree with this, da 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 da. Of course, you going to start to feel crazy. You're going to feel like, maybe I'm just weird. Maybe I'm just, you know what I'm saying? So you going to resort to those drugs. And then when people are like, he was always crazy. He was always saying stuff about the government. And when they be making all those jokes and shit on movies with the dudes with the tinfoil hats talk about aliens and the government is out to get us. And they try to, they promote that image to make it seem like you crazy for even questioning that shit.
Yep.
So now you even see like when the whole COVID shit happened, they had all these people with like free thinker shirts on, and then people was like, oh, all these free thinkers are weird and they fake woke and da 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 da, taking away your idea of critical thinking, because now you just thinking like anybody who goes against the government or goes against the higher power or questions anything is automatically crazy, or you're anti this, or you're, you know, conspiracy theorist and da 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 da. Like shows like what's that shit called? Where they be having like bunkers and shit. It's like Operation Doomsday or one of those type of shows. I forgot what it's called. But where they be showing people like they bunkers and shit, and they be like, but it's giving off as the guys of like, look at this crazy man talking about the end of the world, and but he gonna be that same nigga where everybody gonna want to pull up at his house when the bombs go off and all that shit happen. Everybody gonna be pulling up trying to get some motherfucking beans and rice out of his cabinets and shit. And I'm telling you, like, that's the promotion that they try to give you, is like, just don't believe the hype. Like, don't believe when people tell you like it's fucked up out here. Like, just keep taking your drugs, keep sedating yourself, keep working your job, and just shut the fuck up. So it's really like, it's sad that so many people are like in this matrix of like just not being able to escape like the harsh reality of like their thoughts and just that negative thinking that's been pushed on them. Because it's like a girl who might have been like chubby, maybe, you know what I'm saying, and everybody like, oh, you fat because you don't look like this girl, or you fat because da 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 da, and the media is constantly pushing like, you need to be skinny, you need to be skinny. So now she taking these weight loss drugs and she addicted, and now she 30 pounds, still don't love herself, and now she now she OD'd or some shit. Yeah. And that's how it happens, because the media is promoting these images of who you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to be, well, how much money you supposed to have, you supposed to look like this, you supposed to dress like this, you supposed to get veneers, you supposed to get a BBL, you supposed to get a boob job, you supposed to da 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 da. But it's like, where are all these images of this perfect person we getting? Like, where does that come from? Like, why do we think? Exactly. Yeah. So when it comes down to it, it comes down to the fact, and it all comes back to capitalism, because if you could sell beauty, why not? If you could sell escape, like that's honestly, that's a genius plan. Like, to sell,
bro. That's what I'm saying. Like,
to give people a shitty world and then sell them escape. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes,
like that's really like intricate, and it gets deep, but people only see like the escape part, and they say, all right, well, I'm gonna just stay over here because that's easier than to jump over to the other side, like I said. And now you have to be a free radical, and in every space you insert yourself in, you have to be the voice of reason. So now I'm at work and I'm like the only dude who's like conscious. So I'm when the sexist shit happens, or the little weird comments happen, I gotta be the dude to be like, that's not cool. Yeah. I gotta be the dude to be like, nah, we not doing that.
And you're probably gonna be in that role for the rest of your life.
For the rest of my life. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, it sucks, because it's like, it really is that. Like, I'm in every space that I'm in, if as soon as something happens, I gotta be that person, because now my mind is at a conflict of, I know this is wrong, and if I don't say something, I'm gonna feel like a bitch. But if I do say something, I know it's consequences that might come from it. So it's just like, it's a like I said, it's not for the weak. Like, it's not a easy place to be. So I understand why a lot of people resort to the drugs, and just, I'd rather be in a fucked up like space, but like be able to escape from it, than to like intentionally have to put myself like intentionally have to do things in order to like better my world around me, or to try to better the world around me. It's like, it's always going to be easier to just sit on your ass. So it makes sense.
Yep. And we can't go through the whole drug episode without mentioning the number one drug that almost everybody is addicted to.
Me.
All right, nigga. All right, bro. Okay. Okay. Guess again. But guess for real this time.
All right. Let me see. Drama.
It's so simple.
Let's see.
Sugar.
Twitter.
Sugar.
Oh, I said Twitter.
I mean, yeah, for sure. But like, we kind of already discussed like social media.
Yeah.
But my nigga, food addictions
are hell yeah,
so real.
Yeah.
On top of that, sugar is literally, my nigga, try to just go cold turkey, no sugar. Bruh, them cravings be
I feel like I could do that.
insane.
I feel like I could do that. Well, no.
Try
I lied.
it. No, dead ass, because there's literally like you can literally not suffer, but you can literally have withdrawals
Yeah, I
from
know.
not having sugar. That shit is like scientifically proven, physically, mentally addicting, my nigga. Like
only reason I say I couldn't, because I feel like sometimes, like, especially if I like smoke a lot of weed the night before and I wake up like kind of like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like kind of like hungover a little bit. I be needing a little sugar to like, get me going. Not like I eat like a fruit or something. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, cause that kind of sugar could be addicted to, I guess, but it's more like this processed shit, this processed sugar.
That high fructose shit.
This shit got us in a fucking chokehold, bro. That shit makes you blow up, like makes you gain weight like fuck. This shit makes you like super just like sluggish and like lazy and stupid and unconcerned. I'm crying. No. If you don't get that reference, fuck you.
Right,
you ain't a real nigga.
Right.
But yeah, bro, this sugar shit be fucking people up more than anything. And people don't people just be feeding that shit to their kids, shove it down their throat.
I remember this girl I was not talking to, but she was a coworker, and she was telling me how she felt like dehydrated. Meanwhile, she was sitting there with like a Coca-Cola.
Oh,
and
Lord.
I was like, well, how much water do you drink? She was like, I don't really drink water. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay. So I was like, well, why don't you drink like more water? She said, well, like growing up, my family didn't really drink water like that. And I was like, okay, so what does that have to do with you? And she didn't really have an answer.
But it's so normal though, bro. Like if you're not used to drinking water all the time, you're most likely not gonna understand like how much not drinking water, that shit affects you. Like you're literally dehydrated and you can't tell because you're always dehydrated.
You're always dehydrated.
Like that shit is so crazy. I didn't realize until I started carrying my own water bottles and made sure that shit was full, and it made me drink more water. And I was just like, bro.
Side note,
I have not had a cup today. I'm not saying like today specifically, but like if I haven't had a cup of water, bro, or like a sip, nothing, I can tell. My lips be dry as shit, mouth be like I've been chewing on fucking flour or some shit. Like shit just be all kinds of out of whack. Like your poop be hard to come out. Like
water drives your whole body.
You need that shit, bro.
When you dehydrated, it shows in a lot of different ways.
Y'all need to drink water, bro. That shit is crazy. Stop.
And I hate when people say, I don't like drinking water because it make me pee. Like, bro.
No, because why did my mom say that recently? Stop.
Shut. All right, well, I ain't gonna say that to you.
But no, because I can't say that and not give her props. This woman, like, not long after that conversation where she said that, she cut Pepsi because my mom is like Pepsi super fan,
My mom
literally too. All moms, especially black moms, Pepsi or Coca-Cola, bro. I swear to God, I don't understand the history or the science of it, but it's a fucking thing. Ask a mom what their favorite drink is. It's gonna be Pepsi, Coke, or Dr. Pepper. If it's
a
black mom, it's gonna be Pepsi or Coke.
You know what I think it came from? Because I think those drinks was like popular around like when they was like, you know what I'm saying? When they was kids and shit. You know, that's when they like blew up or whatever. So it's kind of like.
But why does it still have such a hold on that? Because niggas grew up during that time too. Right. Why does it have such a hold on the women, on the moms specifically?
But because my dad, he drank like Mountain Dew and shit.
Yeah, but it's not Pepsi, bro. Pepsi got these women in a fucking chokehold, bro. That should be crazy, dog. I swear to God. But yeah, okay, hold on. Let me give my mom her props. So yeah, she's like super into Pepsi. That's her thing. She always keeps some stock. My mom, as of today, has not had a Pepsi since the 14th. So it's been like
we love it.
What, 5 days, which is amazing for her. So like, You go, girl, love. I know
Yeah,
you're gonna
we
be
love it.
listening. You go, girl, love. But
We love it.
yeah, it's really hard to cut that shit out, bro. You be craving it like crazy. When really, if you just drank water, it'll go away.
Yeah.
But your mind is just like, need the sugar, need the fructose corn syrup, need it. And yeah, you drink that shit and you're just gonna want to keep drinking more and more because it's not hydrating you.
Man, I always check when I eat anything, like when I get anything from the store, I always check like nutrition facts and shit.
Yes,
Cause it's like you got to, bro. Cause it's like you gotta understand with your body, and like I'm not saying you, but like just in general, like what you gotta understand with your body is like it's the same as like with a plant. If you could give a plant shitty water and the plant's still gonna grow. Yeah. Like you could give it doo-doo water and it's still gonna grow. Yeah. But it might not grow to its fullest potential. Right. Or it's gonna be real weak, you know what I'm saying? Versus a plant that you give it fresh water every day, you give it good sun, like you need the same shit that plants need.
The nutrients specific to that plant.
Right. So when you filling your body with all this processed shit and all this like just bad shit, yeah, you still gonna like be full or you still gonna feel nourishment, but it's not gonna be in the same sense as if you eating right. And that don't mean you gotta eat carrots and celery all day every day.
Absolutely not.
But have balance in your meals. Like there's no reason, and not just with sugar, but just like everything. I'm tired of going on Instagram and seeing these fucking big ass sandwiches with like 50 different meats and cheeses and
that's
like
wild, bro.
shrimps and
I
all.
know them niggas be constipated like shit. After
like why you got a chicken cheese, burrito,
steak,
bacon.
Like what? And 4 different types of cheese, bro.
4 cheeses in the bun.
Out of both sides, bro. Like
and the buns is donuts. It's like, bro, like why do you need that? Why do you need that,
bro? I saw on Twitter this. You know those little like chef page, the nigga chef pages and stuff. Yeah. This like most recent one that went viral was fried. Okay, mac and cheese stuffed fried chicken.
What?
It's fried chicken. I'm gonna send you the link for that shit, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, that's all got involved.
That's how they get us, bro. We're hearing it in real time, bro. No, that's how they get you, bro. Ain't nothing nutritious about that shit, bro.
The nigga in me heard that. It was like, brother.
I can't, bro. With the cup of Kool-Aid on the side.
The nigga in me was like, oh, that'd go great with the iced tea, man.
Stop, bro. The red Kool-Aid. I can't, my nigga. I can't. I would love to try it, no bullshit. But
I want a piece. I want a piece.
But just, bro, what?
But that do sound like
it's wild. It's wild, bro. Why are you putting Why are you including Hennessy in your cooking at all?
Right, Hennessy wings with honey, honey packs. Like,
what?
I don't get it, man.
What?
I don't get it. And I know we talk about drugs or whatever, but whatever, I don't exactly know what this honey shit is. I've researched a little bit, but y'all niggas are weird.
What you mean, what the honey shit?
So they got these like honey packs, and I guess they got like aphrodisiacs in them, or like it got some type of
what?
Shit. Yeah, it's like some shit with like you could infuse it with your food, and I guess it's supposed to make you like horny or whatever.
Nigga, why?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I've literally never heard of this. What? Was this like on TikTok or something?
It's like it got popular on TikTok. But like it's like a thing. Like it's like a lot of I ain't gonna say a lot of chefs be using it. I can't verify. You know exactly. Like I said, I did a little bit of research, but not too much because I was just like,
because why am I looking up honey pack right now? And the first suggestion is honey pack for men or honey pack is for her.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Like it's like infusing into the cooking and shit. So it's like it's just how sex has like trickled over into TikTok, into like cooking TikTok. It's just crazy. Now you see these chefs who are like being like overly sexual.
What is in royal honey for her? Each royal honey is filled with nature's best herbs, bee pollen, and royal honey jelly. The fuck is that? Known to balance female hormones and heighten sexual energies. Oh my god, listen, with 20 grams of decadent nectar, you'll experience a more beautiful skin tone and complexion, free of spots and freckles. So you're clearing my acne, and you're making me horny, and you're balancing my hormones, babe. What? Pick something.
And some honey.
Pick a marketing scheme, bro. What are you doing? Like, what? Nigga, what?
It's just gonna do everything for you.
And I know this shit is selling off the shelves.
You
like,
know
what?
It is. You're just going crazy.
God.
Between that and the teleport,
Nah, because why'd I get a bottle of teleport?
There you go. Niggas. You talk about me. You talk about me. You bought the shit. Wow. Capitalism at its best. Y'all see it in real time, y'all.
Shut the fuck up.
It is real time.
Shut up. I definitely got that shit in my fridge right now.
Wildin'.
I bought it on my birthday though. I don't know. I'm not like, I don't be drinking liquor like that. I definitely don't drink liquor. I'm really just a social drinker for real. And I almost never have that shit in my fridge, but it was my birthday and I was like, fuck it. But yeah, bro, niggas be getting it with these marketing schemes. But this honey shit is crazy.
Shit, wow.
I have never heard of that shit.
That's why I was like,
bro, somebody try it and tell me.
Tell me if it worked.
So I don't want to try it, but I would love to hear like somebody's. Well, I'm sure there's some reviews on TikTok. I'm gonna look that shit up after.
Definitely.
Wow, that's insane. But okay, anyway.
But it all just fits into like, the addiction of things.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, at this point, we're just so, like, humans in general are just so susceptible to anything that might give you like a touch of happiness that we're okay, yep, take my money. That shit is sad, but what the fuck you gonna do?
Yeah, we just out here trying to do the best we can.
Yeah.
Till it's over.
And you know what? Keep doing that shit, bro. Keep doing your best. Just try and make your best even better,
Always. That's all you can do.
Yeah. I don't have nothing else on drugs. Do you? Do you have any other points that you want to do?
Don't be using them honey packs around your families. That's weird. That's weird. Stop doing that.
No, what? Weird. That's a thing? No.
Like putting the honey in y'all Thanksgiving. No.
Oh, weird. Yeah. Nah, that's mad weird, bro.
That's weird.
Unless you trying to like go to bed with your cousin or
right.
Something.
Like, no. That's weird. Y'all
not the time, babe. Not the time.
That's weird. But other than that, read a book, man. Read multiple books. Matter of fact, get you a Kindle, right? Because I'm gonna get me a Kindle. Get you something,
bro. So but there's apps. I need to get a library card because there's apps. I think one's called Libby, like one of the most popular ones is called Libby. And if you just like put in your library card information, you get access to all these books and audiobooks for free on your phone.
Okay.
That shit is lit, and it don't cost nothing to get a fucking library card. So like, what? I've been bullshitting. I just been giving Apple Books all my fucking money, but fuck Apple and fuck paying for that shit, bro. I need to go get me a library card. So get you a library card and read a book, nigga.
Read a book, nigga.
Hey. Okay, cool. Bet.
Is we good?
We Gucci, yeah. Okay. Love y'all. Tune in for the next episode. Thank you for listening to me and my nigga rant about all this shit. Yeah, I feel good. I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah, I think we did good that one.
Bet. Okay, thank y'all. Tune in for the next one. Bye.
Bye.